everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting, an ancient philosophy that honestly feels like it was made for right now. We're talking about Stoicism, but we're going to look at it through a very specific lens, as a super practical, super powerful tool for modern women.
So let me ask you something. Do you ever feel just completely overwhelmed, like you're being pulled in a million different directions, you're drowning in expectations, or maybe you feel like your own sensitivity is something you have to constantly fight against? If any of that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. And what if I told you the solution wasn't some new app or life hack, but a 2,000-year-old philosophy? I know it sounds a little out there, but that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Okay, first things first, let's clear up a huge misconception. When you hear Stoic, you probably think of someone who's cold, emotionless, maybe even robotic, right? Well, forget all that. That's not what it's about at all. Think of it more like building an inner compass, a guide that helps you navigate all of life's chaos with this incredible quiet strength. So let's figure out how to build that compass. All right, section 1 of philosophy for today. So why are we even talking about this now? Why is it having such a moment? Well, in a world that's just so loud and full of pressure, Stoicism gives us a way to find our center.
Which brings us to section 2, mastering our inner world. You see, Stoicism teaches us that before we can deal with the outside world, we have to get a handle on what's going on inside. And that starts with one of the biggest forces we all deal with, our own emotions.
You know, so many of us feel things really, really deeply, and that can feel like a weakness, right? Especially when that little voice of imposter syndrome starts whispering in your ear. But Stoicism flips the script. It doesn't say feel less, it says look closer. Take criticism at work, for example. Your first reaction, it stings. It's that immediate emotional punch. But the Stoic response is to create a little space, just a pause. You observe the feeling, you analyze the actual feedback, and then, and this is the game changer, you choose how to respond and grow from it. Suddenly, your sensitivity isn't a weakness. It's your superpower. And this really gets to the absolute heart of it. The philosopher Epictetus nailed it when he said this: it's not the actual things that upset us. It's not the criticism, it's not the setback. It's our judgment about those things. Once you realize that, you start to see you have so much more control than you thought. Okay, let's talk about another huge internal battle, one that's blasted at us every single time we open our phones: the pressure around our bodies, our appearance, and getting older. It's this constant background noise, and it can be really, really hard to ignore. But here's some ancient wisdom from Marcus Aurelius that feels so freeing. He said, receive without pride, let go without attachment. What does that even mean? Well, it's about gracefully accepting the things you just can't change, like the fact that we all age, and letting go of that desperate need for everyone else to approve. It's about shifting your focus from fear to love. You start taking care of your body because you value it, not because you're terrified of a new wrinkle.
You know, Stoicism is also just a fantastic way to simplify your life. We live in a world that's constantly screaming at us to do more, be more, handle everything flawlessly. Stoicism just quietly asks, what actually matters to you? It's about making a conscious choice to stop chasing this impossible idea of perfection and instead pour your precious energy into things that fill you up. Maybe that's a passion project, maybe it's quality time with people you love, or maybe it's just 5 minutes of blessed silence for yourself. It's all about being intentional.
Okay, so that's the inner world, but what about all the stuff coming at us from the outside? That brings us to section 3, navigating the external world, because Stoicism is just as powerful for dealing with external pressures, especially other people's judgments and, oh yeah, the big one, setting boundaries. As women, it can feel like we're under a microscope, right? There's just this constant stream of judgment about our looks, our careers, our choices, everything. It can be absolutely exhausting. But the Stoic philosopher Seneca gives us a way out. He reminds us where real freedom is found. It's not in trying to get every single person to like and approve of you. I mean, come on, that's literally impossible. True freedom is an inside job. It's an independence of the soul that doesn't get rattled by what other people think. When you're grounded in your own values, all that outside noise just starts to fade into the background. So how do we protect that inner peace? A huge piece of the puzzle is learning how to say no. I mean, how many times have you said yes out loud while every part of your being was screaming, no? The Stoic approach is basically a simple 3-step plan. First, just acknowledge your own limits, your time, your energy. Second, figure out how to say no in a way that's kind but also firm. And third, and this is the toughest part for a lot of us, you have to consciously let go of the guilt. Just remember, saying no is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect, period. Of course, even with great boundaries, life is going to throw curveballs at you. That's just a fact. Breakups happen, we face disappointments, things don't go our way. Stoicism doesn't pretend hardship doesn't exist. Instead, it totally reframes it. It says every single difficulty isn't a dead end, it's a training session.
Marcus Aurelius put it so beautifully with this metaphor. Think about it. Fire is what tests and purifies gold. And in the same way, adversity is what tests and strengthens our spirit, our soul. Every challenge you face and get through makes you more resilient. It takes something painful and turns it into fuel for your own growth.
And that brings us to our final section, cultivating a quiet strength. When you start to master your inner world and navigate the outer world with this kind of intention, you build something really special. So let's talk about what that really looks and feels like. This is really the goal, isn't it? To be like the sea. On the surface, things might get choppy. Waves of joy, sadness, anger, they'll come and go. That's just part of being human. But a Stoic foundation means that deep down, at your core, you remain steady, you remain calm, you are unshakable. And it is so important to get this next part. Following this philosophy doesn't mean you build walls around your heart. It's not about pretending you're invincible. Vulnerability is still there. It's part of the deal of being alive. But what Stoicism does is it transforms it. It turns that vulnerability into a source of incredible power. So let's just quickly recap this amazing Stoic toolkit we've been talking about. Your sensitivity, that becomes a strength. Other people's judgments, they start to lose their hold on you. Boundaries become clear, and you can set them without guilt. Hardships become the very fuel for your growth. And your vulnerability, that gets transformed into a quiet, profound power. And that really leaves us with just one final thought. You don't have to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. It's about small steps. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one small Stoic action you can take, maybe even right now, to start nurturing that incredible inner strength? Thanks so much for joining me.
Subscribe to my channel!